Well, sometimes there is no way home for a director. Let's talk about it. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Movie Emporium's Apple TV Plus original movie review of Wolves, the newest film for director John Watts. Okay, so Wolves is the reteaming of Brad Pitt and, of course, George Clooney, who are fixers for, various people. And they are brought in unbeknownst to each other to basically fix a problem of a New York socialite who's played by Amy Ryan. And in the process of everything, the person that they they have to clean up ends up not being dead, who's played by AustinAbrams. And the story basically is a deeper and deeper story about this kid and what he was entrusted to do, and it brings them deeper and deeper into their past. So therefore, they have to work together. They don't like each other. Brad Pitt is very snarky. George Clooney is very strict, very strong. And it basically is a story about two fixers who get into more than they bargained for in a lot of respects. Okay, so this movie Wolves is something I've been looking forward to for a little while now. John Watts has proved himself in the Spider-Man franchise as well as Cop Car. This is a film that reteams George Clooney and Brad Pitt, who have worked together in a few films like the Ocean's trilogy. So their chemistry is pretty well put together at this point, and it looked like a lot of fun. The trailer I thought was quite fun. But unfortunately, this movie has not garnered the greatest of reviews, which is kind of just sad to see, because when you have three of the greatest actors working today, including Amy Ryan, you kind of want something special and fun and entertaining. But I was still willing to see if this movie would play out as one of those types of films. I just was hoping it would be good. So with that said, for my honest review of this movie, it's not very good. To be fairly honest, it's actually quite bad. It's a movie that has an interesting premise with George Clooney and Brad Pitt, who have great chemistry in this movie. But the story is so weird, is so off-putting, is just so bland and kind of not there, that it's just not a very well put together movie. It's actually quite surprising from a director like John Watts, who did three competent Spider movies and did a really competent indie movie called Cop Car with Kevin Bacon. And this is the kind of stuff that he's putting out. It's like, I'm hoping this is kind of just a low point for his career, and that his next movie, whatever that may be, and of course he's doing the Skeleton Crew show, is much better, because this movie just doesn't really know what it wants to do. It doesn't really understand anything. It doesn't present anything of interest. You have this two individuals who are older in age, and they're showing, Brad Pitt and George Clooney are very, very much older age. And then you have this young kid who's played by AustinAbrams, who is one of the most annoying, actors I've seen in quite a while in a movie. And you put them all together, and it's just not very interesting. The story's bland. It just doesn't feel well put together. As it moves along, it feels like it's troping to like 1,000 other films. The ending of this movie is such a knockoff of another really well-known, well-regarded film, that I was like, are you literally stealing from other films? You're not making anything new or your own. And the score in this by Theodore Shapiro is the same way. There's a point in this where I swear to God, I was listening to the Untouchables score, the very first theme of the Untouchables, and I'm like, maybe you're homaging it, but it feels like you're just ripping it off. And that's what this film does. Pacing, you don't have a good, editing, it can hamper a movie down. And we've seen that before. Look at like Burn After Reading. I know a lot of people like that film, but I felt it was so disjointed. It just didn't work, that even with all the famous actors in that movie who have great chemistry together, there has to be a point where the movie just feels like it's running out of steam, that it doesn't have a purpose. And that's what I felt here. I just felt like it was just going to too many weird places. It was doing too many weird things. And I think in the end, I just didn't find this movie that entertaining. I was actually quite bored by it. I was looking down at my phone, wondering when this movie was going to end. And it's only an hour and 48 minutes, which is not a very long runtime for a film like this. But it goes to like different set pieces. We meet different individuals. We meet a woman played by, and I'm sorry if I mispronounce this, Poorna Jagannathan, who plays like almost like a love interest slash person that these two individuals know. Amy Ryan, who is in this movie for like 10 minutes, doesn't really feel like she has anything to do. She's like the setup story point, the main anchor point to how the story begins, but that's all she is in this movie, which is kind of disappointing. And I know they wanted to focus on the George Clooney / Brad Pitt character. You got to have more than that. You know, what they're doing, like, there are points and plot threads that are brought up that aren't really well thought out. You know, there's some history that these two individuals just kind of go into that feels really offbeat and really not well put together when it comes to storytelling aspects. And I don't know. I just feel like this movie just has a lot of things going for it that don't entirely succeed very well. And on top of everything, the cinematography for this movie, or the way this movie looks, from the director, or from the guy who shot, of course, Everything Everywhere All at Once, and the other films that the Daniels have done, this is a very ugly looking movie. It's very dark. It's very dour. Like, you could tell a lot of it's CGI, even when they're driving down New York City. It's really weird. This is a really, really weird movie, and it's a shame because Apple TV Plus puts out a lot of good stuff, and with this movie, with this pedigree, with this director, I feel like they could have done something so much better, and I don't know what happened, but it's just not a very good movie. It's very much a disappointment. It was something I was looking forward to, and once again, I still have a lot of respect for Jon Watts. I think he is very talented at what he does, but maybe this just wasn't the movie that, you know, he's the official writer on this movie, and this is what we get presented. So overall, just not a fan of this movie. I really am not. I feel like this is a waste of time for most people, and a lot of people probably won't watch it anyways because a lot of people don't have Apple TV Plus. So take that for what it's worth. I guess there is a sequel coming, so we'll see how that plays out. But yeah, I didn't like this movie at all. So there you go. Anyways, with that said, that's gonna be my take on Wolves, the newest film on Apple TV Plus. If you like it, let me know in the comments why. I mean, it's one of those films that you may like that I didn't like. It's just the way it is. But yeah, let me know in the comments below. But otherwise, thank you so much for watching. If you like what you see on this channel, hit the subscribe button to join Movie Emporium. Hit that notification bell at the top to find what's coming next. If you like this video, awesome, hit that like button. And as always, we'll see you guys on the next video. Peace out, guys.